Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I still have no idea what, where, how to do this. Maybe I'm missing something. Apparently not you? You? No. Doesn't look like it. Maybe you? No. You? No. No. You? No. Nothing here. I have to follow these, I think. Nothing. I have to get somehow through the bloody forest. Which isn't really a forest, but a foresty pathway. Once I'm there, or in there, it's a forest. I mean, look, it's just 2 rows of trees going to the distance. But once I am there, in there, forest. The deep woods. Yeah, I already have you. May I do that again? Yes, for some reason. I already made a copy. So that's that thing. I can go. That's the end. Okay. Good to know. So let's go there first. And that means here. Yes. Next thing should be the hills and the mountain, which I do not have, if I remember correctly. I have this snake S completely mirrored here. What else do I have? The symbol that is not on the paper. And symbol that is on the paper. Oh, really? Never mind. We will deal with it now. I will use it to my advantage. So, there. Okay, that's that. That's you. Of course, flipped. And I think here was another sign that didn't exist on my paper. Yes. Nothing here. So we go here. Now. Which one? Not you. Aye. Was it you? No. Then it was you. Yes. Which brings me here. Which means I have to go here now. Yes! Is this DeWitt? The shadows strongly resembling my patient's stance in the clearing. I can't see through it, just like the other shadows. Four men are making careful preparations. I know not for what. Well then. This Captain Skid. DeWitt, are you certain that he can guide us safely through the fog? This was also extraordinary, Anthony. It is the best chance we have of avoiding the gaze of the custodian. There can be no doubt when the captain survived an encounter before. He even kept a companion from harm. We'll finally see what lies hidden beyond the curtain. It is time. I was making voices as I go along. Wow! That was unexpected. If I go there, let's go here. Thank God. So I have to be here. What are you? A huge statue of a mythical creature. It is a bird with the head of a wolf? Or is it a lion? The inscription reads 30 birds. Well, that's not the name of it, I think. I don't know what's happening, or what I should be doing or not doing. An enormous black feather. Despite its size, it is extraordinarily lightweight. Still missing a piece. No! What do we have here? The summit rises above the fog, though all I see is fog and an endless ocean of clouds. Well then... What's that noise? Something's out there. It's getting closer. Whoa! Okay. That wasn't all that cool. Is he asleep? He is now. It has been so long, I had begun to lose hope that he would ever awaken. Were you able to speak with him? Anthony, the wit has forgotten everything. Everything! Good heavens. It may be for the best. Our research is likely to take some time. If he truly has amnesia, his condition will protect him until we are ready. But should we fail, remember what happened to Hugo. Ashdown entered the Vale in full knowledge of what might happen. And we will succeed where right failed. We will use the serum to induce primal terror in a controlled environment. In one stroke, we shall overcome all of our obstacles. But when the time comes, we must have a means of guiding our dear friend back to us. Ay, ay, ay. There he will be safe. Okay. And the last piece. There's something on the ground near where the masked person was kneeling. It's a fragment of a broken mask. A piece of a Greek tragic mask. An eyeless mask. It is similar to the one that I found in Alexander's safe house in London. Of course not. Now I have a bloody big feather. Lots of disappearing masked persons too. Apparently I have my key. Oh? A man is standing next to the open curtain. Okay. That is random. Welcome, Dr. Wakefield. Alexander Dupree? Yes, I've been waiting for you. We all have. I was in that pit in Arizmore when suddenly I found the wit, but he disappeared. I journeyed through the fog and found myself here. But how is this possible? Aylishmore. I do not know that name. Many paths in our world lead to this place, Dr. Wakefield, and I know only a few. In some of Xylathal's mirrors, you see the truth leaking in our world. And in others, you see yourself. I knew you would reach us at last. He was certain of it. He? The first founder of the Order, the artifacts. Do you not yet know his name? I go with Jeremiah DeWitt. Do you mean Mr. DeWitt? Truth can be hard to accept. Yes, Jeremiah gathered us all under the same rule. Videte ne quisiat. See that no one knows. We knew of the final truth which lay beyond the threshold. This is what the playwright was committed to finding. This was Jeremiah's obsession. The first language was said to grant the power of creation. After our experiment at school, we realized that the path of the ancient ones was watched by a fearsome guardian. We needed a way to circumvent the inexorable gaze of the bird. I found Captain Skid, who had met the bird and lived. We decided to use him in a test. It was a catastrophe. We eventually found the survivors, but their memories were incomplete. Jeremiah had fared the worst. He had been left devoid of any memories that were related to our efforts. We were desperate to find a solution. Hugo tried and failed. And then Anthony and I miraculously came across a formula that had lain forgotten for centuries. At last, it was time to bring Jeremiah back into our ranks. That was nearly a disaster as well. I did not anticipate Anthony's sudden madness, or the extent of Father Ernest's decline. Mercifully, Jeremiah's life was spared. But something else was wrong. When Jeremiah reached me, he did not remember everything. He had changed. He told me that he was going to put an end to all of this. He still means to acquire the first language, but he wants to use it to ruin our work. He has already crossed the threshold. Once he learns the final truth, none of this will ever have existed. The Order, the door, or ourselves. We must stop him, Doctor. You must stop him before the curtain closes forever. Well then. Once more, I find myself enshrouded in dense fog. Gradually, the fog dissipated, revealing a busy street in London. Dizzy and exhausted, I wandered the streets until, at last, I returned home. I barely recognized it. I crossed a dusty threshold, like an intruder. I noticed, for the first time, that I was holding the robe of the playwright in my hand. I kindled a fire and threw the rope into the flames. As I watched it burn, I remembered the black ocean. I had stood there on the beach, staring up at the terrifying heights of the vertiginous Mount Quaff, where the verb is said to lie. Then someone touched my arm. It was Dr. Wakefield. Our encounter on the endless dunes had not been an illusion. In his quest to find me, he had ventured into the veil itself. He said nothing, but it was not necessary. He had come to take my place, to sacrifice himself. He stayed behind and closed the door after giving me the chance to escape. His reasons I will never know. I do not know what happened to Alexander and the others, but I fear that they are trapped in Hylathal for all time. I stared at the endless rain splattering against the window, and I remembered that I had something else to do. A last promise to keep. We didn't Ekias yet. Was it that now? Don't know. Apparently it was. The game kitchen theme in alphabetical order. Well then. That was something. Season 1, Season 2. And this I will talk over the credits. I can't check if I'm recording now. Or can I? Yes, I can. And yes, I'm recording. That would be completely embarrassing now if I... My thoughts about this. Slightly mindfucky. Especially the last episode. A world where literally nothing works as one would normally think. And it's probably a world of endless corridors, starting at a point and ending at the same point as well. Literally. You saw it, mirrored bit in the last episode, where you literally walk through a watery mirror into a reflection of the area you are in, which is literally the opposite. There's a little ruined room in the one with a piano who has lost one key, and on the other side of the mirror there's a concert hall with a piano who just has one key, or which has just one key. And everything before that, the lead up to this, the end. I will stay at the screen for a while. Lead up to this. Whole season 1, for example. All the stuff around Jeremiah DeWitt. How he's fighting basically his amnesia. And learns more about what happened at that school. Not all of it, surprisingly, not all of it. That's interesting. You don't learn all of it in season 1. But it leads you through all his discoveries. Oh. There's more. Hello? Thanks for playing. Thanks for making. And that wasn't so long ago as well. Interesting. Well then, I will stay at this screen then. And the whole of season 1. Jeremiah's descent into somewhat madness. Because episode 3, I think, had a rather oppressing atmosphere. Really dark, dingy even. Foggy. It literally makes you uncomfortable. See, episode 1, season 1. I basically learn what... It's basically an introduction to all of this madness. Jeremiah gets a letter from Anthony, basically just saying this one quote. And because he is a good friend, he checks up on him, and that's that. And from there, it goes downhill. Doesn't get bad, but you know, downhill. It just catastrophe incarnate, basically. It even starts with the suicide of Anthony Beechworth, which is also pretty strong intro to all this. Something went wrong. We have awakened an ancient eldritch horror. Basically, we have angered someone far higher up than we are, guarding something we cannot understand. And this custodian is pretty pissed if he literally sends his minions to this playwright. All the crows. All the crows. Remember the murder of crows murdering a crow. And then at the end of episode 1, season 1, basically splattering Anthony's corpse all over the room. And episode 2 isn't really any better in that. Whew. Go back to his old boarding school, which is basically now a asylum. Or more cloister. It's more of a cloister than an asylum. But still, it's led by a madman. Basically, all the season 1 what Jeremiah sees after his amnesia. He gets bits and pieces of the truth that is basically he wanted to know, as we have seen now. But yeah, he basically descends into this madness, into the veil, into this land where nothing is what it seems. Black ocean, literally black. Always fog, barren. The forest path, which turns into a big bloody wood once you have entered the path. The houses of not the house, basically the mansion of Anthony being there in a rather distorted way. I like it. I like it. And then there's season 2, where we go after Jeremiah, after he basically took a dive. And now we take a dive again. This time as Dr. Wakefield. Which is basically the same journey, if you call it that, but basically Dr. Wakefield uncovers all that for the first time, not like Jeremiah, who basically remembers bits and pieces. Dr. Wakefield goes on this journey and is just rolled over constantly. What is happening? Oi, oi, oi. And yes, it was rather short, all that, to be honest. If you know what you are doing, what you have to do, it's a breathe, it's a breathe. With all the readings still, it's just, you know where to go. It's short, it's more literally a storybook than anything else. A short one at that. Would I call it horror? Maybe. It doesn't work with jump scares, that's for sure. Well, there are few. Season 1, episode 1 has one. And suddenly all the crows are in the room with the gramophone. Or Season 2, episode 3, at the end, where you open the one coffin with a malformed skeleton, which is supposed to be Bridget's aunt. The Bridget Lansate. Whew. Other than that, doesn't really work with jump scares. It works with tension, that's for sure. Sometimes in the atmosphere to an oppressing amount. Season 1, episode 3, for example. You go into the supposed streets of London. Supposed streets of London. And I doubt that this was really London, but more somewhere close to the Vale. And all the persons there were imaginary stuff. Maybe Jeremiah already knew. Maybe not, I don't know. But I doubt that it was real London. Because we are thrown in episode 2, season 1, into a coffin and buried. And yes, that is frightening. Being buried alive. And season 1, episode 3 basically starts with us falling out of the coffin. So it works with our fears. Because, as I said, the fear of being buried. The fear of the unknown. It's great, it's great. But there are some inklings. And I ramble on before I go into the negatives. I say this. I ramble now because that was a finale. That was the last episode. Literally, this is over now. We still have this, and I will play it. But we have the main game done. We have the main game done. So now, the negatives. First, what I have seen in Season 2. This bang lock in brackets, and then Umbrella 3 and so on and so forth. The stuff where it doesn't show the text, but it should show text. That's bad. Really bad. It doesn't help if there's something displayed on the screen that basically is programming or placeholder, which is a placeholder for another bit of text that should be there. That's not good. That is not good. Don't do that. This is basically the equivalent and as Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, always carrying a bloody microphone, calling it a microphone. And interviewing during the journey to Mount Doom. Everybody on the party. And everybody says, "What are you on about? What is this?" And Gandalf, "This is a microphone, a piece of tech. I want to record all of your thoughts. So, spit it out." And others, "No, you madman, go away." All Frodo stumbles upon a pistol. Or one of the actors is still wearing their watch on their wrist, and it's clearly showing an film that is supposed to not have it. I think there's a GIF somewhere on the internet where Jon Snow, Game of Thrones, stands there fully clothed for the set, for the episode, with an alien, basically, "What's that? Huh? Hello? I don't know what it is. What is it? Can someone explain this piece of metal to me?" I've seen that GIF. It's funny, but that's what happened here. And not deliberate, but as an accident. Always double check. Always double check. This should not happen on camera. Here, my mouse. My mouse cursor. Perfect example. Me being sabotaged by my mouse. That's basically the equivalent what happened with this missing pieces of text. Another thing which I saw in Season 1 and 2. Basically, which you could contribute to every point-and-click adventure in existence. Not every puzzle is intuitive. Season 1, Episode 3, there's one bit where you go around and around and around, stuck because you don't know where to go, and then suddenly you just go into the room because you are here for the 15th time and just click random things. There's a butcher room with this hatch. There was no indication that I have to go there to get any further. None whatsoever. There was no logical reason for me to go there and do this puzzle. It was just there to impede progress, so you have to think. You don't want to drag the player out of the character in this type of games. It kills the mood. Every time you are dragged out, reminded that you are in front of the monitor, controlling. If you're not thinking as the character in horror games or role-playing games or story-driven games, that's a bad sign. If there's something there just for the sake of being there, for example this one hatch, why? Why not having it already open and let me explore? Why having me solve this puzzle that is just there to impede progress? Why? And it doesn't make it easier if it's not there. Make it faster, yes, and quicker at the end. But just putting it there so I'm going around and around and around and around in circles for hours, it's not good. That puzzle wasn't intuitive. And I see not even one reason why it should be there. It feels gamey. Or season 2, episode 4, the bit with the forest where I have to where I had to follow all the signs. Also feels a bit gamey. Or the thing with the piano was felt a little bit gamey too. Here's the thing. This shouldn't feel gamey. Yes, I know. Look at the resolution, look at the graphic style. Look at the art style. This pixel to the max. If this is not gamey, I don't know. It still works better than high resolution. You see every dimple on the face of the monster. This works better because you don't see that much detail. You know this is a flame. And you can picture it in your head as you want to picture it. You can have this in your mind as detailed as possible. Season 1, episode 1. The murder of crows. You see that there are crows hacking on something and that blood is splattering all about. But you don't exactly see how violent. It's something you picture in your mind. And that is the strength of this game. That you picture the stuff that is on screen in your mind in as much detail as you want. If you have a vivid imagination, and my god, have fun with this. But then if there's something that is literally just there to impede progress, that feels gamey, then no amount of imagination can overcome it. I'm sorry, that just don't happen. That will not happen. But yeah, pros, awesome story, awesome. From what I know about Lovecraft, this is spot on. It is as vague as possible. We don't know any other deities than the Veil or Tsailathal. And the Custodian. That's that. Or the Crooked One. We know only those three. Those three deities. And even one of them, the Veil or Tsailathal, isn't even a deity, it's a place. And that's that. We don't know what else is out there, and even the things we know, we don't know a lot. Season 2, episode 3. Oh, this Ails More. This weird customs they have. There's one time of year where they put on masks, bury the mirrors, so on and so forth. Under the burying the mirrors under the fear knock. All this strangeness. All this stuff we have to think about, and even then we don't fully understand. Basically just playing with our non-knowledge. It's great. That drives Season 1 and Season 2, those two games. The cons, as I said, there are passages that are gamey. Quiet out there! I need some air in my room, so please be quiet out there. Where was I? Yeah. Negatives. Cons. There are things that feel really gamey. Luckily, only a few. That's fortunate for this series of games. And yes, you need both. You need both. But maybe a negative as well. You need both. Season 1 and 2. I don't know why the devs didn't put Season 1 and 2 together once Season 2 was finished. Once Season 2 was finished. But well, they decided not to. Art style? As you can see, it's pixel to the max, so that's that. But it really works well for this game. I like it. I really like it. You don't need to see basically every hair of the beard of Johann Kaufmann, for example. If he even wears a beard. You don't need to see the eyes or the noses or mouths of the people. And then again, this is really minimalistic. Really minimalistic. Here's bigger pictures. For example, a zoomed in version of a crow's eye. That is really detailed. Oh, this is also really detailed. But in game they are not so much. You can make out certain things, some more easily than others, true. But then, yeah, okay, it works. It works really well. It works in the favor of these two games. It's a positive. And yes, I actually recommend these two games. Buy it on Steam or GOG, because that's already cheaper than buying every single episode on the dev's site. If you buy it on Steam or GOG, each season is €10 or $10, and if you get it in a sale, then even better. But really, I highly recommend these games. I highly recommend these. And I most certainly will play those two another time for myself, just to fully understand what's going on. Because right now I'm just babbling. I'm sitting here and my brain's mush in this regard. It certainly is a game series where you have to take your time. And it probably grows even better the more you play it. But I have rambled enough. I will record now the interlude, The Mask with No Eyes. But for now, I say to you, good night and sleep well.